Hello, in this video I am drawing on Sarah Marrick's 2019 description of the Anthropocene from Critical Terms in Future Studies to provide a fundamental understanding of what we mean when we use this term. The geological timescale is a defining achievement of geological science, and it is a reference for communicating the difference between the layers and materials that we find in the Earth. The timescale is described as the equivalent of the periodic table for the geological sciences. It provides a global summary of small-scale correlations of rocks and layers in the Earth that occur at the local, regional, and global scales. It is based on the observation and distribution of fossils throughout time and space. The geological timescale is a crucial organizing system for understanding history and potentially the future of the planet. In the year 2000, biologist Eugene Stormeyer and atmospheric chemist Paul Crutzen made the claim that humanity has crossed an important threshold into a new geological epoch. An epoch is a unit of geological time in which a rock layer or strata is created and observably different from others. Officially, the current epoch is the Holocene, which began around 11,700 years ago, following the previous Ice Age. But there is a growing argument for calling the current epoch the Anthropocene. The base word is anthropogenic, which means originating from human activity. The core argument for the Anthropocene is that humanity is responsible for the changed living conditions currently experienced by all life forms on the planet in ways that are not foreseeable long into the future, but are observable in the geological record. This new epoch is shaped by human activity, a terrestrial force on a planetary scale operating with an impact registers on the geological timescale. The Anthropocene is observably different to past geological epochs in the planet's history, such as the Paleocene, the Pliocene, the Holocene, and others. It is important to note that the Anthropocene is often used in connection to describing climate change and global warming, making it somewhat controversial. Nevertheless, even the most skeptical denier has a hard time refuting the effects of burning fossil fuels, the global scale of water and air pollution, and the clear effects of deforestation and land clearing, as well as the human contribution to the current acceleration of plant and animal extinction. Having a term like the Anthropocene is important, but it does shape the way the conversation evolves in certain ways. The scientific nature of the term assists in removing the psychology of helplessness that is often experienced when thinking about climate change. But it positions all humanity as equal in the participation of the cause of the epoch. It is a generalization that obscures the degree to which the contribution and the effects of climate change are uneven, as is the ability to cope with the changes. As Marrick notes, the people of the Netherlands are better equipped to deal with rising sea levels than the people of Bangladesh. The term Anthropocene directly calls us to connect humanity to the past and the future in ways that individuals find uncomfortable and difficult to comprehend. As Timothy Morton describes in his book Humankind, we are faced with the task of thinking at temporal and spatial scales that are unfamiliar, even monstrously gigantic. Perhaps this is why we imagine such horrors as nuclear radiation in mythological terms, like Godzilla, or planet-ending events like planet-killer asteroids. Morton describes the Anthropocene as a strange loop of weirdly weird. It is a turning of events with an uncanny appearance, a strange gap between the two that links geology and humanity together, overcoming what we previously thought of as distinct. It is a kind of weirdness that suddenly links our turning on a car's engine, the hum of a fridge, and the sound of a phone notification with the 6 mass extinction event. So the term Anthropocene connects all humans to global warming, but in a way that ascribes blame and avoids taking responsibility. Avoiding responsibility is a common trait of humanity, displayed by the media, politicians, and corporate management. We see corporations like CNN and British Petroleum tweeting out ways for individuals to reduce their environmental impact, obscuring the overwhelming contribution to carbon emissions and pollutions that corporations make. Corporations vastly outweigh individuals in their contribution to the degradation of the planet and our future. Similarly, the term Anthropocene somewhat obscures the fact that it is largely rich, white countries that are vastly responsible for global warming, atmospheric change, pollution, and extinction rates. This is particularly true of my own country, Australia. Those who are at least able to adapt to the Anthropocene have had the least to do with its creation. Humans are like bacteria. We are great planetary transformers, but humans are aware of their activities and influence, although perhaps most terribly we choose to contest and ignore it. That does not mean that the Anthropocene is inevitably dystopian, because the Anthropocene carries with it the idea that humans are also genuinely able to create a better future for both the human and non-human inhabitants of the planet. I highly recommend that you check out the solarpunk movement, and I will link to St. Andrewism's account of this movement devoted to the pragmatics of building a cleaner, sustainable, and renewable future in the description of this video. The solarpunk movement acknowledges the Anthropocene, and it attempts to manifest a future that is not disastrous on a planetary scale. It is a living, optimistic philosophy that recognizes that the future is very much now.